business now. Stephen's back on the programme with us today. We're starting in the US. Donald Trump has announced a major new investment there, hasn't he, Stephen?
It's from the Japanese technology firm Softbank, which is going to invest $50 billion in the United States. The Softbank already owns the majority of telecoms firm Sprint in the country, but it's clashed with American regulators over plans to buy T-Mobile. The company's CEO says it's making this investment as a result of Donald Trump's election. Clement Bonnereau reports.
Donald Trump hasn't even taken office yet. He's already attracting new investment.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Masa of Softbank from Japan, and he's just agreed to invest $50 billion in the United States and 50,000 jobs. And he's one of the great men of industry, so I just want to thank you very much.
Thank you.
Donald Trump met with Softbank CEO Masayoshi Son at Trump Tower on Tuesday. Softbank is one of the world's biggest technology companies. It owns Vodafone's Japanese operations as well as US internet provider Sprint. Son says the new plan wouldn't be on the table if it wasn't for Donald Trump.
I said I would like to celebrate his presidential job and commit, because he would do a lot of deregulation. I said this is great. United States, US will become great again.
Financial details about the commitment and its time frame are unclear. In an interview, Son said the money will come from a $100 billion investment fund that he's begun setting up with Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund. Softbank is expected to invest in startups, especially those that specialize in artificial intelligence and robotics. Experts, however, say it will be difficult to create 50,000 jobs, as startups generally employ few workers. Sprint, which employs 30,000 people, has cut jobs in recent months in the face of rising costs. With Donald Trump promising to slash regulations, Softbank could also make another attempt at buying telecoms company T-Mobile. The Japanese company abandoned the effort in 2013 after US regulators said they would reject the plan.
So that's one business deal then, but it's not the only business deal that Donald Trump has been tweeting about, is it?
No, he's urged the government to cancel a deal with Boeing for upgraded Air Force One planes. The president-elect said the costs were out of control. The order is for 2 new planes to replace the current models. They're due to come into service in 2024. Boeing says the cost could be reduced, though, if the Air Force changes its requirements. Donald Trump at one stage held up to $100,000 worth of shares in Boeing, but his spokesman has revealed that he sold all of his stocks back in June. The portfolio had included shares in companies like Apple, JP Morgan and Microsoft. This move would have raised a substantial amount of money, but the spokesman for Mr. Trump didn't provide details of exactly what he had done with the proceeds.
Okay, so what about the stock markets then?
Well, in Asia, first of all, that American deal has been good news for shares in Softbank. They hit their highest level in a year, rising over 6% in Tokyo. The Nikkei finishing the day up 0.75%, gains too across the rest of the Asian markets. In Europe, shares opening up as well. Mining companies leading the gains in general. Paris and Frankfurt both seeing gains of 1% or a little bit over in Frankfurt's case. Credit Suisse, interestingly, up 4% after it downgraded its earnings forecast. Some of its Asian businesses. Big moves, that Swiss lender. Some more of today's business headlines for you next. The drugs company Pfizer has been fined a record £84 million, or almost €100 million, for overcharging Britain's National Health Service. The UK's Competition Authority issued the fine over a 2,600% price rise for an anti-epilepsy drug between 2012 and 2013. The drugs distributor Flynn Pharma was also fined over the price rise. Shares in Samsung have risen after the US Supreme Court reduced the money the South Korean firm will have to pay Apple for copying its designs. After a long court dispute, Samsung was ordered to pay Apple $548 million for using patented elements of the iPhone. The Supreme Court now ruling that Samsung shouldn't have to pay almost $500 million of that amount. And Apple says external factors were behind a number of iPhone batteries reportedly going on fire in China. Shanghai's Consumer Council published a report last week about 8 iPhone 6s that had gone on fire. After a preliminary investigation, Apple says the so-called thermal events were down to the phones being physically damaged.
thermal events. Well put. Going to talk about posh Starbucks now, because Starbucks is making big plans to go up market. Is that right?
This is all part of the plan as the chief executive, Howard Schultz, steps down from his job. He's going to focus now on opening 1,000 new upmarket Starbucks Reserve cafes in his new role. Now, there are a handful of these already open in the United States. They've different products on sale. They look different on the inside as well. You'd want to be prepared if you walk into one of these, though. The products they sell include coffee made in a glass siphon for $10 a cup and bags of exclusive coffee beans that can cost up to $50 for 225 grams. So perhaps not what you'd be expecting if you're going and looking for your caramel macchiato.
$10 a cup. Must be joking. Bit much. Stretching it a bit. Thanks, Stephen. Stephen,